Hi, besties. You've found your community bestie to share thoughts and opinions, recap the shows we love.
Having too much fun.
Bravo should be fun. And have piping hot gossip sessions about the celebrities and Bravo lebs we love, hate, and love to hate. He went on a podcast claiming he had a threesome with two women from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Immediately, I was like, I wonder if it's Brandy and Carlton.
I'm Caitlin Marshall, your pop culture and Bravo bestie. Allegedly allegations. And if you enjoy fun conversation between friends, listening to your bestie rant about shows we can't get enough of, plus enjoy a little bit of, well, ridiculousness.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's a spider that is coming down. Hold on.
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Oh my God. Has anybody seen my ring?
Oh my God.
I don't want to ruin the party or anything.
Have you seen my ring? Oh my God. Can you look on the floor for my ring? God, John's gonna kill me.
Don't mess with me because I will come.
What? Oh.
Feel free to leave that in for whatever entertainment purposes.
You're in the right place. So thanks for joining me on Besties by Bravo. Hi, besties. Thank you for joining us today, Tuesday, October 8th. We have had a plethora of technical issues, but I'm just so glad Giorgio Takunakis is here with us. Thank you for being here, Giorgio.
I apologize in advance for my audio, guys.
You know what? Sometimes I can fix some things in post on, in editing for audio, but sometimes it's, I think at the end of the day, y'all just want to hear us talk some ish, and we're going to do that. I had my own tech issues before coming on today. I had tech issues last Thursday. I moved into a new place this weekend. So it's just and Giorgio's out of town.
I'm in Tulum.
And I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to be there with you.
You were supposed to be here right now having tech issues with me at the same time.
Yeah, to be honest, there is a lot of devastation about not being there. There were just some things that came up that we just, couldn't do it. But we moved into a new townhouse over the weekend. So I'm still working on the setup. You don't even want to know what my room looks like right now. So also if my audio is a little tin canny, it's because of that. I can't even, yes, they were working on the air conditioner right before I came on here. It's been a lot. Is something happening with the solar system? Like, is Uranus in the wrong hole? Is something happening?
I think Jupiter's going into something, or it's crossing. Something's crossing over.
It's doing something. Danny, Gossip Gal, hey girl, she says, Giorgio, you look like a little workout snack with that man bun.
Oh my God. I can't, you guys, it's so hot and humid here. There's no way I'm going to be doing this hair every day. So it's going to be slicked up, and this is what you're getting until I get back to my home office next week.
We love it. Okay. We love it. We're tan. We're ready. Okay.
That's all I'm doing.
Y'all, our Giorgio, our bestie Giorgio here, should we just give him an orange? I think we should.
I'm going to go buy my own after this.
Please. Y'all, I have to say, and y'all know I've been watching Bravo a very long time. I don't feel that I have seen them ever show a content creator with their handle, everything, with their whole little segment the way they did you this last week.
I don't think I remember either. Well, no, I don't think I've only heard they've used voices over like clips, but not. I'm very grateful to Evolution and Bravo for taking my Nightline video and using it.
I'm just thrilled for you. I just want you to
Thank
know
you.
that I'm taking video. My son is like, it's Uncle Giorgio. And we were thrilled. I was like screaming in my home, just so you know.
I've been very humbled by the positive. Yeah, I don't know why I thought I was going to get a negative reaction, but you never know how those things are going to go.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it was, and I want you to tell us a little more about it. You're at the very beginning, so we'll get to it. And just so y'all know, also, my notes are a little bit of a shnikey show because, again, moving with a 3-year-old is totally different than moving when it's just, two adults. It just,
I'm excited that you got your place, by the way. This is like
yeah,
long time coming.
yes.
I feel like I just talked to you and you're like, I couldn't find what I'm looking for. And then like you texted me, we moved in. I was like,
Yep. Not even joking. Yeah, which by the way, Giorgio has fantastic design taste. I love interior design like no other. And we're gonna change up this whole background. I'm gonna have to get his input, all of it. Okay. Are we ready to jump in?
I think I am.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been like 3 weeks since we've talked.
It kind of has. It kind of has, but we have a lot to talk about. Yes. Okay. So we're just going to start with Tamra leaving the table, which, oh my God, Tammy go hammy after going so hard on Shannon about the drinking, all of that. And then, God bless, she's schmoozy boozy, trips over. That's something that I would do sober. So let me just say that. Trips over the step trying to leave Katie's house. And she's like, Ryan's just a piece of shit. And Katie goes after her as Emily's joking, this is what Tamra does. And when Katie goes out to talk to her, so we're going to put a lot of allegedlys because neither Giorgio or I can at the moment afford or the monetary expense of being sued by Ryan Boyajian, nor can we afford the mental toll expense. So a lot of allegedlys. I don't want to have to say it 500 times, but we're saying it. Big umbrella.
Allegedly, though, allegedly, a source told me that it was not. It was something. It wasn't what it came out to be. That's all I'll say. Allegedly.
Okay.
It wasn't exactly what it was reported that was received.
Okay.
It was a different C&D is what I have been told allegedly was delivered.
Cease and desist, not a lawsuit. Got it.
Allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly. We're putting a big umbrella of allegedly so that we don't have to say it 5,000 times, but we're still going to have to keep saying it because.
Also, I didn't put these up on purpose. These were here already, so I'm not trying to
compare the apples and oranges. The art behind you, I like it actually. It's cute. Modern. Okay. So, where were we? Yes. And here's the thing. Tamra's talking about how she had heard about an alleged FBI investigation on Ryan and his quote unquote friend over alleged illegal gambling. And Tamra goes, there was an account on Instagram and it's Giorgio. I've watched this clip like 500 times and like only half of those times I actually listened just because I was like, oh my God, it's Giorgio. I was just like watching. You know what I mean?
It's so wild watching your own TikTok play on an episode of Housewives.
Oh my God, right? It's amazing. What I found fascinating that talk to us a little bit more, summarize this TikTok because they only showed portions of it. If you can summarize that in maybe like 5 minutes or less.
Way less than 5 minutes. So essentially the part that they showed, I believe, was to show the connection of just the alleged shady prior history. That clip that they showed was not anything to do with Matthew at all. That comes later in my video. Correct. So essentially what I did was I kind of just wanted to see what he did for a living. because it was never really clear. And when I did, I stumbled upon some old court case documents that are available to everyone who uses Google. So no secret portal that I found them on. But nonetheless, I read through, and these are lengthy. So I was like going through them, and then another one was connected with the same guy, and then Ryan was named in those documents as well. So I just kind of touched on that. And then obviously with Matthew Boyer, there was I saw that the address for Matthew Boyer's business was the same address for Ryan's home residence. And I'll just say allegedly, even though there's print to verify at the time. So essentially it was just kind of showing the history of his relation to business, allegedly. And it's going to be so annoying to have to keep saying, but I will. And yeah, so that's basically what I did. I didn't know what I was going to find, but that's what I found. And I was like, this is pretty alarming.
Pretty juicy. Well, here's the thing. So that's what Tamra did say on there was, look, at Ryan's business, quote unquote, business partner / friend, Matthew's address, who's the one being allegedly investigated by the FBI, is listed as Ryan's home address. And we get Emily asking Ryan at the table about, quote unquote, hosting this friend, Matt, in Vegas, because that's all Ryan is saying he is, a friend. He won't call him a business partner. And this is the only thing that I have to say is that Ryan is the worst at getting caught. Like, his eyes get even bigger. He already has big eyes, but his eyes get even bigger. And he stutters pretty badly, even when, Katie's Matt is asking him last episode what he does for a living. And he's, mortgage in the state of California and out of the state of California, 7 unit development thing, and you can
I
tell
sell
that's
lawnmowers sometimes.
Yeah. It's
really random way to explain what you do. That's what I always have a problem with, when people can't just come out and say what they do, and it has to be this like, well, I do this and then I do that and then a little bit of this, and it's like, what is it?
It's one thing to have multiple jobs, business ventures, but it's another to not even be able to explain one of them. Yeah, well, because something that I found interesting about how Ryan starts to say, well, yeah, Matt is a professional gambler. And I'm like, what were you about to say? Because nothing changed in what you were saying.
No,
Ryan.
I think the thing is that we're working off technicalities, which is fine. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not him directly. It's the point is that it's the surrounding situation. So I think that part was interesting to me, that there was always this line.
Ryan admits that his friend Matt had a bookie business and says that this friend and his family fell in some hard times, which, what did that have to do with any of it? It was just, nothing makes sense. Nothing adds up. The math ain't mathin'. And that's when Katie leans over to Matt and she's like, aren't bookies illegal? And Ryan, this is also interesting to me how his ears, like, he immediately heard the word illegal and he just says, in the state of California. Okay. Emily says she's heard the rumors about Ryan's quote unquote friend, Matt, allegedly being investigated by the FBI. And she basically just has to say she doesn't know the details or if it's true, but that she does know Ryan goes to Vegas like it's his job because his career is pretty much in Vegas. And that whole thing, I don't know, y'all. I think what it comes down to is Jenn comes off as nothing but a kind person. And I don't think anyone can say otherwise. She comes off as a very kind person. And you don't want to see someone like her with someone like Ryan if all of this is true. And last year, everything where Tamra was really going hard on Ryan, it's weird what time does to an audience's brain, because I think a lot of people forget that he couldn't answer for sending a dick pic, and then thought it was because remember, he was being so attacked by Tamra that he thought it was a great idea to start a company, a like drop shipping clothing and hat company that say dick pic on them. But I, I just find it odd. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if someone was saying something that was so incredibly, let's say, false about me, saying I sent, I don't know, some nudes to somebody while I'm in a relationship, I'm going to tell you what, and maybe it's just because I'm a female. If that were the case and I knew it wasn't true, then, and I felt attacked by this quote unquote rumor, whatever, I'm not going to go start a company and call it Send Me Your Nudes. Like, it would be odd. It wouldn't make sense. And it would make me, I feel like it would make me look more guilty of doing it. But I mean, I get some people are, not like me, I guess.
I think what I struggle with for Jenn is, where is her, it's almost like she doesn't have a red flag meter anywhere. It's almost like everything can be explained to her and then she's fine with it, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. I mean, it's her man. She can do whatever she wants, right? But I do like her, right? There's this like part of me that likes her. There's these like, I thought it was really funny, by the way, at the end of the episode, that she poked fun at her eviction, like stuff like that, where it's like, okay, this was never about Jenn. This was just more about like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah, Jenn is innately likable. Like, it's hard not to like her and want to see her happy, healthy, and well. I think part of it is that her situation with how she grew up, especially as a young adult. And when I say young adult, I mean from 18 to, can we still call 35 a young adult? Or can we still, no. Can we?
Well, why? Well, I'm 40, so I'm past that point. But you should definitely be able to still call yourself that. Why is that? Please. Do we just stop living after 35 or something now? Is that the new?
Hope not. Hope not. I'm about to find out in a month, almost exactly to the date. My birthday's in 1 month and 1 day. So how about
You're
that?
turning 35?
36.
35 plus 2 plus 1.
35 plus 1. Math isn't our strong suit. It's the humidity.
Hurry up and catch up. Hurry up and catch up.
But let's just, talk about, oh no, wait. Well, let me finish my thought here. Sorry. That her world was very small, even if they moved to California with her husband, Will, things like that. I think her world was so tiny because she relied on Will to keep her world spinning. And so when you are like that, I don't feel that you get to know how to look for red flags in people and things like that. So I'm not trying to give an excuse, but at the same time, she just doesn't have the same experience as a lot of other people would, who lived a different life. Simply put. So
she's very naive, almost, in a still very innocent, naive way. Like,
agreed. So John gave a statement to People when he broke up with Shannon.
Oh my God, but he's so private.
They just keep getting worse. Okay. And I want y'all to know, I'm skipping over some things because, again, it was an insane weekend, but I'm also wanting to assure you that I'm hoping that we'll have the time. We're going to see how it works out structure-wise next week to cover both Salt Lake City and Orange County in one episode. Just, I'll do a pre-recorded, no live on the Salt Lake City, but I'm going to do another one on that. So it's just been insane. Also had to get a new car this last week, which finally, thank fucking God. Anyway, okay, I'm focusing. Sorry. It's been a big week. So gotta crack up when they're at the backyard expressions. Heather ends up getting pissed about the fact we find out that Heather was pissed at Gina for leaving with Emily after when they were at Jen's, and Emily and Heather had their whole thing. And I'm sorry, that is just kind of stupid considering the two of them came together. And I'm sorry, if you and I go to, like, we're filming something, you and I, Giorgio, go somewhere, and let's say you get into it with someone, even if they're my friend, you and I arrive together. If you're one of my best friends, I'm like, listen, sorry, babe, to whoever the other friend is, love you so much, but I'm gonna leave with him. That's just the way that goes. Like, and if it were on New Jersey, it would be expected that they leave together, because if we rode together, we leave together. Like, that's their rule.
Well, sorry, but if we've known each other longer than the person that I'm fighting with, I don't care if you're friends with them, bitch, you coming with me, or I'm not going to leave with you next time when you get into, but Emily and Gina are really best friends. So
Yes.
It's weird that Heather would be like, you thought Gina was going to pick you over her best friend off the show? No.
No. Like, sorry. No, that doesn't even make sense. At all. Heather is asking what side people are on regarding her v. Emily, Heather v. Emily. And here's the thing. I didn't see that there was necessarily a side that there had to be taken. It's Heather is not grasping that just because when Heather perceives that someone is saying she is wrong in some action of hers that she has taken or not taken, anything that is remotely a criticism to Heather, that's where she loses it. And she cannot be logical. I mean, we saw how she was last week when Terry was just kind of saying, if you have something come up with someone, you have a process. And when she tells him off camera, do not admonish me on camera.
Just because she said that, I would continue to admonish her, because
I know you would.
That pissed me off that she had the nerve to try to pretend like she was going to produce her own fake moment. And that I'm glad the editors left that in, because it's stop scripting yourself so much. But we get more into that later, which is interesting.
Because the other thing too is when Katie's explaining everything that Emily was trying to convey to Heather, Heather gets pissed about Emily talking to anyone else about it, because Emily never got to make her point. She felt incredibly misunderstood, and it became a bigger thing. And that's the thing that happens. That's something I struggle with sometimes, is feeling misunderstood by people. And it's something I've struggled with for as long as I can remember. And so the more you are trying to be understood, the more frustrated you get, because it's like, come on, I'm not trying to make this a big thing, but now it's becoming a big thing because now no one's listening to me and I'm having to talk and talk and talk and talk, talk, talk. And that's Emily still feeling like she needs to explain herself. But Heather, girl, you're sitting there talking about it and you're asking whose side everyone is on.
But it wasn't a side thing. Emily wasn't trying to, she was just trying to explain how she felt. But because Heather is so far up her own ass that she doesn't listen. And so therefore she gets defensive and thinks people are just trying to purposefully paint her out to be this fat shamer. And that's not even what Emily said. But you know what did peg you as a fat shamer in your interview when you said, and actually the dress was tight.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Oh, it was tight?
Now, listen, I have to say, I feel that Emily needs to, and I know it's hard, but I spoke on this last week too. Like, when it comes to women's clothing, you can't be married to the size. You can only be married to the size of clothing that the brand you are used to wearing all the time. And even then, because I'm going to tell you right now, sometimes, like, let's say I'm buying jeans from Abercrombie. I'm a size 27. I go over to a different brand, like those cut denim. I'm a size 2 in those. But then if I want to go get another pair of jeans, sometimes I'm a size 8. So it is just the way women's clothing is. And Emily also, she's got to be careful because, really hammering down. And I understand, again, this is another moment where she's just trying to explain where she's coming from and she's not shaming someone who's a size 12. But I worry about it because I think she needs to tread carefully the way she's saying, don't call me a size 12. No, Emily's not a size 12. But at the same time, if Emily's a size 6 or an 8, what have you, I mean, it doesn't matter. We can't be putting down the specific size. I think what it came down to was Emily needing Heather to understand this was triggering to me and upsetting. So maybe don't do something like that in the future, even though you weren't intending to do that this time. I think that's all Emily was trying to tell her.
Well, if we're going to look at it from, but hold on, because Heather's all about etiquette and this, that, and the other.
That's true.
I'm sorry. You didn't do your job, Heather. No one's blaming you for this, but you were running the show. You invited these ladies. You should have specifically met with all of them, not just taking their sizes. You know who your designer is, and you know that maybe her range of sizing is off. So in my opinion, you didn't do your due diligence. You should never have put, that was the first red flag. Why would you put Alexis and Emily in the same dress?
Because
and why would you think that would be okay? Because they're both tall?
I mean, listen, I agree with you because what are you trying to show? A range of sizes? Or are you trying to, I mean, there was just no point. Either put Alexis in the dress or put Emily in the dress. It wasn't that, this dress wasn't all that interesting or fantastic. It was just a black sheath dress.
It wasn't anything that you wouldn't see. No shade to Susan Bender, but give me a break.
It was nothing special. It was a little black dress. Literally. So I just want to say, I love what Emily is doing with the Innocence Center, with this poor guy who was only 15 years old when he was wrongfully convicted of attempted murder and mayhem. I love that they are giving Emily these scenes showing that she's not just doing some frou-frou type of side project that is an already very wealthy organization. You know what I'm trying to say? This is something that is real work that I find incredibly impressive, and I find it incredibly admirable. And I would rather, to be honest, see now no, I'm not going to say that. Okay. I'm glad to see someone like Emily doing that. Someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to the law and using their platform in that way.
Well, to be fair to Emily too, this is not just a edit for the show. She does a lot of work outside of the show with this organization. And over the last year, I think she's been able to make a lot of impact just by talking about it.
Agreed. Okay. Before we jump into the tea party, I want to say hi to a few of you in here. Thank y'all again for being so patient with us. Oh my God. I just can't. Oh, we were both like, okay, we got it. We're going to get it together. We're going to do it. Just, Hi, Miriam. Yes, technology is a beautiful thing only when it works. And hey, again, Danny Gossip Gal, loving the series you're doing on the origins of pop culture. I find that fascinating. Hi, Tay Tay. I saw a few more names. Oh, yes, Jeff. Hi, honey. Hope you're enjoying Tulum. Allegedly is the word of the day, my friends. And I'm so glad. Yes, I'm protecting everyone's bank accounts, sweetheart. Thank you for joining, Jeff. Hi, Annie. Oh my gosh. Yep, Florida preparing for another hurricane. Listen, I have been out of the loop of everything that I should know at the moment. I did not realize there was a second hurricane coming. Yes. Annie, honey, please be safe. I am worried about y'all. This has been devastating. And I just, I hope you're maybe able to get out of there. I don't know if that's insane for me to say.
I was checking in with a few of my Floridians just because the gas situation down there has been horrendous the last couple of days. People are driving to 7 or 8 different places to try to get gas. Because remember, if your car's on low and they say you got to go and you don't have gas and there's no gas around, where are you going? How you going? You know, so it's really scary right now for them down there. And I feel I can't even imagine. I can't.
Yeah. God, I want to say or do something more than saying, I'm thinking about you and sending
I
love.
know.
Jesus. That's why I need to just see that it's like those type of situations where I'm like, I would be much better at being in that 1% because I would find ways to help. Thank you so much. Don't even, we're not talking about Bethany Frankel though. Okay. Anyway, moving on to the tea party for Shannon Bador, who hates attention, but she's gonna bust open her dress that we thought was so cute and prim and proper, but no, she's got a sequin British flag on it. So when Emily, Gina, and Jenn are there, and Heather shows up and asks Emily if she can talk to her. Oh my God, Emily was a little bit gangster with this. I was like, oh, okay. Ain't nothing but a G thing, honey. All right. And Emily just goes, now? No. It's like,
I died when she did. She looked right at her like, right now? No.
no, I'm good. Thanks, though. I was like, girl, holy shit. Like, that is so brave. I would have been like, where, yes, would you, do I need to stand on my head to speak to you, Heather? Whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. Okay, fine. It would make me nervous. Oh my God.
No, Heather needs that because I think she thinks that she can just walk in like that and command someone to get up
Agreed.
and be like, we're going to go talk now. No, we're not.
I hate to admit she'd be able to command me. I think, I don't know. It would depend.
Not if I was there, because I'd grab your arm like, sit down. She's not talking to you right now. You can figure it out another time.
You'd have been like, bitch, if you don't sit your ass down, get your
I would
shit
not mind my
together.
business. I would not mind my business at all.
That's okay. We never mind our own business ever. Y'all, you don't even understand. Like, anytime Giorgio sends me that someone's given him a shitty comment, I would say 98% of the time I hop in there and I'm like, well, that's not, no. And I start defending him and I'm like, Caitlin.
I know. I like, don't even
have to let you.
bother because they're so, and half of the time they're just bots, you know?
Yeah.
They're just
Sometimes I
fighting with a
think,
bot.
yeah, they are bots sometimes. It's like, I don't even know how you weed them out sometimes. But yeah, sometimes I think I just need to let you handle it because I might make it worse if I open my mouth.
No, I would. That's why I keep it closed.
The other day, I almost hopped in and I was like, everything I kept starting to type out from a comment you received, I was like, that's going to make it worse. Nope, that's going to make it worse. So I was like, you have to stop. So,
I always respond and then delete it before I post because I'm like, I just got to get it off my chest. And I delete it.
do you know, y'all? Oh my God. Do you know that I have before tried to do that like with a text message? And I'm going to tell you, this is how freaking stupid I am. I typed it in the message section and then I was just going to delete it. I hit send.
Oh,
And it was a full vent. All I could do was immediately say, I am so sorry. It was horrible, y'all. It happened, what, like 2 years ago?
that is up there with me responding to someone about someone else or saying it to the person.
Yeah, being like, oh yeah, I mean, I'll have to check my schedule. I could totally meet for coffee, and then turning around being like, I do not want to meet with this asshole ever. And then it's like, that's something that I.
Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Technology's gotten scary.
It sure has. It sure has. Mm. You know, I love what Gina said in her confessional here about Heather. She says that Heather can never just be in the moment. She needs to step away to think of the perfect thing to say. And then that's when she wants to have the conversation, and that she doesn't feel that it's genuine because the goal should be sharing your feelings and communicate to make it better with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
This is Gina explaining how reality TV is supposed to work. And this is also why I think Heather was not originally cast in Orange County the first time she auditioned for it. I remember however long ago it was, whenever they'd have, I think it was even on VH1, maybe not even Bravo, where it was like how they got here, or like, you know what I mean? Like backstory of or Real Housewives of Orange County. This was so long ago. Long enough ago that I was still watching VH1. And Andy Cohen was saying that they originally, when Heather auditioned, they decided not to go with her because they felt that she wasn't ready to completely let the veil down and just be completely open and raw. And I think that's still the case. And if Heather doesn't stop doing that, honey, you're going to get the audience hating you, because I felt like Heather was doing great at the beginning of the season. And then it was that party at Jen's where it just took a nosedive.
Well, it's also her not being real about her marriage conversations. Like, her husband can't even call her to the carpet on camera because now you're no, he's not. He's being real. This is a reality show, not a sitcom.
Mm-hmm. There is no canned laughter or applause, honey. Could you imagine how weird?
They should start adding that in on her scenes, though, because
Now, they had some really funny graphics this episode. Did you notice that?
I did. They got graphic happy almost a little bit with
They
the,
have
like,
been lately. It's fun, but it's also like, what are we doing? Why is the statue talking to me?
oh my God. I was for a second, I was like, am I crazy? Is that thing really moving, or they edited that to make it look like it was lip syncing this?
It was like a TikTok filter. Like, whose mouth did they add? Like, who had to use the TikTok filter and then upload it? Like, it's always something, y'all. Always something. Again, at the end of the day, Emily was just trying to tell Heather, this is what bothered me. Don't do it again in the future. I'm not blaming you for my trigger. I'm blaming you for maybe not thinking about it, but I'm not saying you did this intentionally. And it's been like this exhausting runaround of her having to constantly say, I didn't think you did this intentionally, like, for crying out loud. In Heather's full explanation, she practiced it too. She did. Oh, Alexis and Emily, or I'm sorry, Tamra and Emily both wore the oversized jacket because they're both the badasses. Like,
did you ask if they wanted to be the badasses, or you just threw this oversized jacket on someone who doesn't need an oversized jacket? This is where it pisses me off with Heather, and this is why she's being fake. I can't tell. I don't think she did it on purpose, but I don't think she thought through it, and she got called out on it, and now she had to go retreat, deal with her publicist. How do I answer her? How do I, like, no, I'm not interested in anymore. Like, you said what you needed to say in your interview. That was your authentic response. And then you might as well just said it out loud.
Well, and that's the thing too, is it's really like for Heather then it's two things. Heather keeps saying to Emily, but you look so good. You look so good. That's not what Emily's saying. Emily's not saying she doesn't look good. She's saying that she wants you to recognize where she's at and where she's come from. That's all she's wanting you to recognize. And again, did Emily go about it in the best way from the beginning of it? No, she didn't. If she wanted it to be a more civil conversation, she didn't. I think the emotions were already heightened, and they'd already been so incredibly annoyed by Alexis dragging everything out the way she was at Jen's house, not telling them what the problem was, all of that. I think it was just at the point where it was like, I can't, I have to talk about anything else. And so then the emotions got heightened, I think. But I think even if you asked Emily if she would have maybe gone about it differently, I think she would say, yeah, I would have. I wish I could have just gone ahead, pulled her aside, but it was the moment. That's what happened. Okay. That's what happened.
But to keep things in context, Emily wouldn't have necessarily brought it up, but I think the way the night was already going,
that's what I'm saying.
She had to get in there because Alexis took up so much of the night. So when was she supposed to bring this up exactly?
Well, and I think she was just like, if we don't stop talking about what Alexis refuses to talk about, and if we don't stop talking about Johnny fucking J, I'm going to lose it. And I think she was already annoyed. Like, being around someone like Alexis for that long while they won't shut up, like, no, I would lose it. I would
And
lose it.
you know Alexis is doing all of that because she wants the camera time.
Yes.
So 4 hours, and I'm gonna say what I want to say now.
Just shut up.
It kind of reminds me of Lisa Rinna when she was in Hong Kong. She's like, I need to go anyways tomorrow, but I do have a question for you. You know, it was kind of that same moment. It's like, okay, you guys all had your turn at bat. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm getting my camera time in. So I'm gonna say something really crazy.
Well, and we know how long-winded Dorit can be. So. Well, I think the other thing that was really frustrating to hear Heather say in her confessional was, of course, I understand having body image issues. I'm a woman in Hollywood. Yes, you are a size 0 in Hollywood. You have always been a size 0. Shut up. That's not what it's about. You looking at the comments that people have made to Emily, you are not receiving those comments. If anything, people give you the opposite type of comments, Heather. You don't get it.
I'm gonna find. I got blasted for commenting like that about her response because let's be 1000%. I will never understand. Yeah, I fluctuate in weight by like 5-10 pounds. Like, give me a break. That's not the same experience that Emily's dealing with.
Right.
And there's no comparison. So the fact, first of all, you're not in Hollywood, Heather. What was the last movie or sitcom or show or anything outside of reality television that you've done? Living in Hollywood and is not the same as you're in. When was she in the press for her body?
Exactly.
There you go.
No, exactly. And that's the thing too is, after I had my son, y'all, I've said this before, I gained 60 pounds. Okay. And you can do some math. I am 5'7". I was 190 pounds when I had my son. Okay. And for me, after being in that environment, yes, it was really difficult. I had lost half of the weight, and I had a friend say to me who had also just had her own child, who she just had one of those bodies, like genetically she was suddenly back to being a size 2. And I still haven't gotten back to where I used to be. And it is either going to happen or it's not at this point. You just kind of accept what you're given and you're happy with it at this point. But she looked at me after I said, yeah, I feel like I'm getting back to closer to where I was. And she just looked at me and said, yeah, you're about average in size. I know. And I was like, and I don't even, I know. And I don't even know if I would have taken it as hard as I did. Yeah. If she weren't the type of person that if you weren't singing her praises 24/7, it was taken as a slight. Like if I had said something like that to her, I would have been hearing about how I had quote unquote hurt her for weeks, but she would just make these little slights at me. And so it's like, I understand where Emily's coming from in that regard, that it's like, it's not like you directly said or did anything, but that still hurt me. It wasn't the worst thing you could have said, but like, girl, I was barely a size 6. I'm small. It's smaller than average.
But you know what? I hope Emily puts together a charity fashion show next year and puts Heather in the biggest flipping smock and makes her look awful so that it's not her fault.
No.
Why are you feeling that way, Heather?
No. What? Oh,
Put
well, I just took your measurement.
And then in her dressing room, put Andre's champagne from 7-Eleven at $7.99 in there. Sorry, that was all our budget could afford. Is that okay?
Some Boone's Farm.
Bobby?
Boone's Farm is a little sparkly.
Heather.
Anyway, okay, yeah. So Tamra shows up. Emily brings up that also, I'm sorry, she shows up and then Emily, yes, I'm sorry, my notes. I told you all my notes are unhinged. That's just kind of where we are at today. Tamra looks at Jenn at the table and says she wants to apologize about, we got to admit, Tamra did need to absolutely apologize. Like, I know the dinner was boring and she needed to do something, but you're a little bitch was not necessary at all. At all. It was too much. Like, yeah, it was like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? So Tamra apologizes and I know you think it's hysterical. You love Tamra so much. And sometimes
No, I love calling someone that. That's why I laugh, because it's such a good way. Just
listen, at a certain point, it's like if Eddie didn't stay calm though, then it would have become an issue between Ryan and Eddie and we know how these straight men can get. They can get real punchy. And so it
okay,
was
but like I think Erica Jane pointed. None of these guys are hard on this cat. Like no one's
no.
that tough. So it's just
No, I don't think they are either, but at a certain point, you as a female, when you're in that type of relationship, if you're sitting there yelling at a guy, you're a little bitch, and if he says anything back to you, then
right.
you are going I mean, even if I was being belligerent with my words, I would be like, "Oh my god, why aren't you backing me up, babe?" And that wouldn't be fair. So, it's like it kind of that's the way it tends to kind of lean. And so, listen, Eddie looked like a widow waiting to see if her husband was coming home from his long year at sea, wrapped in her shawl, watching the coastline.
He was enjoying his dinner night, his dinner party. That's what he was doing. He was like, I already know this isn't like I told y'all not to serve her anymore. So you did. So there you go.
Edward looked tired. Okay.
I will be, to be fair, I don't think martinis are the drink of choice for Tamra.
No.
Because even for me, two dirty, extra dirty martinis, I'm good. If I have any more than that, it's like boo boo boo.
Why do y'all think I stick with wine?
That's why I don't drink brown liquor. Brown liquor turns me into the devil.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Does that to a lot of people, actually.
Mm.
Jenn didn't really seem like she was too interested in Tamara's apology.
Nope.
So, okay, that's her prerogative. But I get that Tamara's like, look, I don't want it to be awkward where we can't make eye contact or anything. And you got to admit, Jenn has a point that she does do this round and round with Tamara, where Tamara, she'll go too long without saying something, and it bothers her enough that it's like now the soda bottle is shaken up with the cap on, and then she explodes, and then she has to come back and apologize. What Tamara needs to work on is maybe having little conversations along the way before she gets to explosion. There are a lot of people in this world like that who don't know how to get through conflicts without it being an explosion. And not every conflict has to be an explosion. On reality TV, it needs to be something. But if I were Jenn, I'd be tired of it too. I'd be like, dude, because I'll tell you what, whenever my son says, I'm sorry after, I don't know, he smacks me. I tell him, thank you for saying you're sorry. When you say I'm sorry, it also means I'm not going to do that again. Uh-huh.
It does.
That's what it's supposed to mean. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's come. Like I said, these notes. So Shannon storms the door, shows up, and she says she's got a gift for everyone. Gotta love how we all agree that Shannon looks like a madam of a brothel in that photo Emily brought of her. That was a great gift, I thought.
That was I didn't even know. I'm glad that was her gift to her, because I thought that was perfect gift for Shannon.
She needed that boost.
Well, it's also not a typical Shannon look. So I'm like, that's fun. Like she looked relaxed and like almost like she was a designer.
Yeah, she was like,
like a Donna Karen vibe.
Yeah, honey. Okay, we learn we're going to London after Shannon busts out like she's on WWE of her feathered, little conservative dress. And gotta love how Jen's like, oh my God, I've never been to London. And of course, immediately it cuts to Heather. I've been to London many times. Money, 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 rich, 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 wealthy. I am so rich. Money.
It was perfect the way they cut to that.
Yeah.
I've been many times. We went last weekend. I wanted a shirt. I told Terry we need to fly in on Saturday and get back for the kids on Sunday. But yes, I
Yes.
love London.
They carry my favorite white t-shirt brand. It has nothing on it. It has to be simple. Simple and chic. Oh, it's only $800. That's not bad. So Heather, on top of being rich, she got Heather some Hermes sandals. Giorgio, where do we get friends like Heather? But also like not friends like Heather, but also friends like Heather though. You know what I mean?
I don't want any gifts like that from Heather because that means you secretly are tied to her. So if you don't, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I don't mind being secretly tied to someone with some free Hermes though.
I know, but those sandals are like, give me a break. Everyone and their mom has those sandals at this point. So like they're not like limited edition color.
Oh, see, if someone's gonna win you over, they better be like special.
If a Heather Dubrow wants to win me over, it needs to be something limited edition.
Got it. Yeah.
Then I'll be your friend.
Well, good thing I'm too broke.
No.
I just
I'm
have to
saying for
I have to
someone
win you with my
Heather
personality.
Dubrow's, someone who toots their money like that, don't throw those little basic brown Hermes sandals at me that were $800, ma'am. I
May as
deserve
well have just
better.
gotten her that orange Hermes bangle.
Oh, damn it.
By the way, friends, I'm also battling a cold. It's been a lot. So if I start sounding extra raspy, it's because, like I said, Uranus went into the wrong area. Okay. Anyway, so Heather says that she also knows Shannon likes Ferragamo, and Shannon gives her the opportunity to be like, I'll show you all the receipts regarding John's $350 Ferragamo shoes. And we get flashbacks of Shannon going through the receipts with Gina. On Valentine's Day, I bought him those loafers he was wearing. But Heather's like, enough with the receipts. Heather, you brought it up. What is your
I
deal,
know.
Miss Ma'am? Then can we talk about this bouquet? It was unique.
It was something.
Like, were those like birds of paradise coming out at Shannon? I mean, it was gigantic. It was gigantic.
They were not my taste. It almost felt like a hodgepodge arrangement, like throw some of this in there, make sure you put an olive branch in there for sure, even though the olive branch doesn't really go with any of the other shit in this vase, but put it in the biggest vase you have so I can be at this tea party. Since I'm not physically there, I'm gonna make myself be there.
I mean, it was kind of like, it felt very much like Margaret Joseph sending her, I'm so sorry for your loss arrangement to Teresa and her attorney, but that was at least a better way to do it. It was like, clearly she has no idea what Shannon's taste is. She could have just asked John. It was just bad. I mean, anyhow, okay. So everyone at the table is like, oh, who's that from? And Shannon looks at the card and she goes, oh, it's from Alexis Bellino. And jaws are just dropping all over the table. Botox is deteriorating. Fillers are migrating. It's just too much for everyone. Okay. Stitches are popping behind the ears. They're all like, are you kidding? And I paused it so that I could read the card, and it said, happy 60th birthday, Shannon. I genuinely hope this olive branch can bring us a fresh start as you begin this new decade. Oh, you bitch. May God bless you with happiness and good health on your milestone. Signed, A. You should have written Alexis, number one. A just makes me think of Pretty Little Liars. So that's some sort of thing that A would have done on Pretty Little Liars. They ask her to read the card and she does. And I'm so sorry. I feel like it was such a dig.
The whole thing was a dig. The whole thing was a dig at her because she wasn't invited to the tea party first.
Of course.
Then someone probably told her there's going to be one more cast trip. So maybe play nice.
John.
And that was her way of trying to get invited. in my opinion. I don't think that Alexis would have done that if there wasn't going to be a cast trip and she wasn't going to be iced out. Because she
Agreed.
knew. And also, this isn't the right time to send these flowers. You just gave the lawsuit over to People Magazine. Like, what do you mean?
You know, Shannon says she appreciates it, but she doesn't want to spend time talking about this and that it's 9 weeks too late. And I agree. Emily points out, and also that Shannon also feels like there's just been too many shitty things done to her. She doesn't want to be friends with her, period. Why would anyone want to be friends with Alexis if they were Shannon? Like, that's insane. And Emily points out in her confessional, like, how many offerings does Alexis want to give Shannon while simultaneously being involved in a lawsuit, talking shit on Shannon, making her life hell? I mean, it's like, give me a break. And Shannon points out, well, I bet her coach is who said to do all this. And we get the flashback of Shannon telling Alexis she's been coached when they were at Gina's dinner, dinner party from hell there. And Alexis was being such a very good soldier at that dinner, saying she hadn't been coached, but, we all knew. And here's the thing, Tamra, this is what's driving me nuts about Tamra right now. More than it is about her drinking too much and going off the rails, is the fact that she will sit there and say Shannon blames Alexis and John for everything. Yet she's not recognizing that Alexis and John are blaming Shannon for everything, for John's reputation, for every little perceived notch that they go down on the social ladder, when in fact it is the two of them and their behaviors and the things they're doing. At the end of the day, Shannon has hardly said a single thing about John at all up to this point. So it's just frustrating to me. Why are you not holding Alexis accountable, Tamra?
Shannon is not interested in talking about John Jansen because it makes her also look bad. So
Of course it does.
That's why I don't believe that she would have ever used that as a storyline with Alexis. I think Alexis and Shannon could have been cordial to each other this season if Alexis would not have come in so hot with the, I have your man now, bitch. Like that isn't, whatever context was cut out of the episodes, as Alexis keeps saying the truth. Whenever we get one iota of the context that she says was missing, it doesn't change anything.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't.
I'm sorry. If I were Shannon and Alexis came in doing that to me, I don't think I would have been able to keep a straight face. I would have been busting out laughing right in her mug.
Just the way Alexis acts like that 75,000 was her money too, and she's had it.
Right.
You better pay him back. Like, you just got here.
You're right.
Mind your business.
Yeah, bitch. Jeez. God. Okay, so where are we here? All right. Yeah, Tamra, it is not exhausting. Like, Alexis is not just sending her Shannon flowers just to be nice. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, truly give me a break on this one, Tamra. It's just not even making sense. Okay, Shannon brings up that she has offered John everything he was asking for and that he wouldn't just sign the non-disparagement agreement. But I feel like it should be noted that it was also that Shannon couldn't say anything bad about John as well.
That's what I'm confused about. Was it a one-sided thing, or was it for both of them? I can't imagine Shannon would just say, you're not allowed to talk about me, but I can bring you up. I thought it went both ways.
I thought so as well. That's why it's insane. And so far, again, Shannon has hardly said a word about him. Then, God, listen, Tamra brings up that Shannon butt dialed her. Tamra is just really, I don't know what the deal is. I don't. Like, it's at a certain point where it's like, I don't understand, like, the way it was brought up. And Tamra does this thing whenever she knows something is going to cause drama or she thinks it's going to, and she's on, like, there's the slight bit of being uncomfortable about it, and she gets a little bit of a smile, which makes most people do that. Like, I do it whenever I'm uncomfortable. I start smiling or laughing. And so it makes it look even worse when she's saying certain things. That's my perception whenever she's saying certain things, and it just adds to something bad she was already saying, you know? And this is the thing too. So when she brings up the butt dialing, when Tamra does, and Shannon gives the explanation that she received, an email or call or whatever from what would be People Magazine saying, can you make a statement on this? And all Shannon says she asked for was 30 minutes so she could speak to her attorney, which I feel like People Magazine, this is not their first rodeo. I also don't think that Shannon would have only taken 30 minutes to speak to her attorney. But she says they were like, nope, we have to go ahead and go through with it. And that's when she lost it. I don't totally get how that works, but it surprises me.
I don't really know if I believe that on Shannon's part, because here's the thing. Your lawyer's on speed dial at this point.
Yeah.
Why do you need 30 minutes to come up with a comment?
Well, maybe if she can't get a hold of him immediately, things like that. Like, I'm always going to try and overshoot how much time I need.
But I think the point is, do you need your lawyer to help you with a comment about a lawsuit that's already heading your way? What is it that you're like?
Yeah.
All she needed to say was either no comment or, like, to me, I don't think she needed to have a comment for that. I think it speaks for itself on them. Her commenting on it would have almost been, it would have made her look guilty to me.
I hear you on that. I'm just thinking about what it looks like when you read it. Mm-hmm.
Sure. No, I completely understand why she was so unhinged about it, because it's like, come on,
Yeah.
you guys are literally trying to hang me out to dry on top of suing me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that now that you were saying that, like from the perspective of opening up my app, looking at People Magazine and being like, oh, and Shannon says what about it? Like that, it looks better to not. I don't know why, it just does.
Well, it almost looks like you're too busy to care, even if you do. At least to me. But
Yeah.
I understand why she would have wanted to make a statement, because maybe she felt like it was painting her in this.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. So Shannon lets the ladies at the table know that she pre-wrote a text to Alexis saying, hello, Alexis. I am hosting a trip to Europe with my friends, and I just wanted to make it clear that you were not invited. Everyone is cackling, and Katie's asking, well, maybe we should soften it and maybe we can tell her. I find it absolutely wild that Heather thinks, and other people think, that Shannon was being a little too harsh. On what planet?
Let me tell you something. That was the edited, nice, professional version.
Agreed.
My version would have been vile. You piece of shit. You better not step anywhere near my trip to London. You are not invited for forever and ever.
I don't think the plane could take off because your Jesus jugs have sagged so far down they'd be trailing on the runway, and we cannot have any lag in our trip while your tatas drag across the freaking ocean.
Sorry, Alexis. We can only check in one of your jugs. The other one's going to have to just stay with you on the plane.
Yep. There's a limit of baggage. So
it was not harsh at all, in my opinion. I didn't.
Emily being such a real friend to Shannon, because she wants everyone to go around the table saying that they should all share their favorite memory with Shannon or of Shannon. And let's just be honest, it is kind of telling that every fun memory someone has with Shannon is when they were all drunk.
Well,
sometimes the most, okay.
Oh boy.
All right, then we get, oh Lord have mercy, Katie and Jenn go over to Jesus Jugs.
Why did they feel the need that they needed to deliver this message when they were just going to sit there and watch her read the message anyway? So what were y'all there to do? Soften the blow?
I don't know why it was the two of them out of anyone either. You know what I mean?
Because nobody else was going to.
No one wanted to sit there while Alexis ranted for hours. Make the newbies go. Well, I gotta admit, Alexis's charcuterie board, y'all, that was a bad charcuterie board. It looked like a bunch of tiny Ritz crackers. You got to add some meat and some cheese. Alexis. Sorry, I just
Girl,
can't.
just go to Costco and buy the pre-made one. Put on your fucking wooden thing like everyone else. Stop
Yeah.
with the Ritz crackers and the like sliced cheese you cut up in squares.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
It looked like she just put like ham, deli ham on there with it. Like she just cut like it was.
Right? Right? It was squished it up.
Did they even eat it?
No. Well, Katie did a little bit. A
Okay.
little. Then Alexis asks them if they saw the olive branch, aka bouquet she sent Shannon, because she cares more about what everyone else saw than any actual meaning behind it, obviously. And here's the thing. She didn't get here are my notes here. Wow. She didn't get mad because Katie and Jenn tell her that Shannon's reaction was. Okay, cool. She then gets mad. Excuse me. Y'all, unhinged over here. Unhinged. Anyway, so she then gets mad because Katie and Jenn tell her that Shannon's reaction was not exactly receptive, because they tell her that Shannon was like, she should have done this 8 weeks ago. And Alexis is like, should I have come into the season with an olive branch? And here's the thing. If she had come in, like we said, with an olive branch type of attitude, Shannon would have looked like a nut job.
Okay, let's put things into perspective. If I was going to come on to a show, right? And I've got to be good enough with everyone that I'm not getting cut out of things and not being able to film. And let's just say I'm with Jeff and Jeff's ex is on the show and I'm coming on. I'm going to send flowers and I'm going to pull that person aside immediately and say, I don't want that to come in between what could be here, because that has nothing to do with anything. These are two separate things. We've all moved on. And I hope that doesn't put a wrench in us at least being able to be cordial in this group. Then it's all on Shannon. If Shannon wants to do that, then it's on her, but you didn't.
I think I probably would have then tried to make friends with the person. So
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But I'll be cordial and I'm not going to start beef with you about it and do all the, I took your man. Look who he's with now. Bitch.
I know
like,
it accomplished nothing, and it was juvenile. It just was not, it just didn't make sense at the end of the day, because how old are you? Truly. No. Well, Alexis freaks out, standing up, throwing her arms out, saying that she's always putting out the olive branch and still always getting shit. I don't even know what type of accent she has anymore. It's very bizarre. And she thinks she's hitting this brick wall trying to keep peace in this group when she's so full.
When did she try to be peaceful about? I don't remember another time. Did they cut it out?
Exactly.
As she says?
It probably was whenever they did that very first episode, and she claimed she wanted her New Year's resolution to be friends with Shannon after they had their whole confrontation outside.
What?
Exactly. And so she thinks the audience is stupid. And she runs upstairs to tell John, she's crying, that Shannon sent a text and everyone's hoping that Shannon, softened up with, or that they thought she was going to soften this. Sorry, my notes are so bad, y'all. I'm doing my best. Holy crap. So Shannon's text to Alexis comes through while she's upstairs. And it says, "Hello, Alexis. This is Shannon Bedore. I am hosting a trip to Europe and you are not invited. That should be quite understandable given the circumstances. Thanks for the flowers, but I am not interested in any olive branch." And Jen's like, we tried to get her to soften it. It's funny because now Alexis is saying she's basically quitting the show because she's tried it all and she's done. And you know what? I would love to know if Alexis was there for the reunion this weekend, because they filmed it. I know you know that, but I'm telling you, friends, they filmed the reunion this weekend.
She was. Because she posted a photo of herself getting glam. So yes, of course she was there. It's not up for her to decide she's quitting the show. You were asked to come on to fill out the cast.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, This is lovely because then we get a confessional with Alexis and Johnny J, and I'm obsessed with how they wouldn't even give John full lighting. And Alexis looks like a hostage sitting next to him. And it would be him looking like the hostage with the bad lighting, but she looks like a deer in headlights, completely freaked out. He just looks like a turtle to me. I don't know what it is. He looks like a turtle.
He
And
does.
that's all I'm gonna say.
He does. He does. And I love turtles, but
Cute.
he's
not a cute turtle.
He's something else.
He claims that his hands were tied and he was days away from crossing the statute of limitations regarding being able to do anything legally about $75,000. It was only a year later, right?
What's the statute of limitations on that in California?
Don't know.
I guess it's the timing that he said. Well, here's the thing. When did you go to her before that and say, I need my money back? Because that's where I would be confused. Like it just dawned on you that you wanted the money back and you were like, oh crap, statute of limitations. I got to do it now.
Hold on. Unpaid loan in California.
You know what's going to be a problem though? And I'm not.
4 years from the date.
So when did he wait? So are we saying that then if that's the case, then that means he lent her the money 4 years ago? Weren't they together for only 4 years? Like, I'm confused. You know what's going to be a problem though, Caitlin? And everyone? I went back and listened to Jeff Lewis Live when Shannon was on there. And I don't know if Shannon's aware, but she said something in regards to the conversation around, can you give me this money? Or can you, because initially John Jansen said, why don't you go get a low interest loan? And she turned around, and this is her words. She said, well, why don't you loan me the money? Why don't you loan me the money? So here's why I'm saying, first of all, he's a piece of shit. Let me make that abundantly clear. However,
if she used that word.
If you had a conversation, and he says he has an email. So this is why I also think she's getting erratic. And yes, I feel bad for her, but I think she's more pissed off that she's in this situation. If that makes sense. Like, I think she was thinking that he would, and maybe he would have, right? If Alexis never came into the picture and he was just whatever, move on. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't have. I don't know. But that I feel is conflicting with what she said on the show.
It is. I hope she didn't. If she used that word, she's screwed. Well, Alexis says she's basically just quitting the show after all of this. And when the girls are asked, like Jenn and Katie in confessional, if they think Alexis gave the story to People magazine, they both make it very clear they're lying through their teeth.
Jenn was for sure lying through her teeth. You know, well she knew that who would have given it to them. And
when I said Katie I meant like she wanted to just straight up be like, oh, absolutely, clearly.
Well, that's why
obviously.
She said,
what am I, stupid?
She knows a lot of people at People. So, well, you do what you want with that.
And Alexis kicks the girls out, and they're like, both Jenn and Katie are in the driveway going, did she just kick us out? And like you said earlier, it was cracking me up how in confessional, Jen's like, I've never been kicked out of any place. Oh, no, wait, I have been evicted. Like, good girl.
But that's why it pisses me off that she's with this piece of shit. Like, she could be so good on her own.
I agree. Fully agree. Well, besties, keep an eye out for an audio episode on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm just kind of playing catch up this week, doing my best. Giorgio, tell everyone where to find you before we sign off.
Yes, thank you. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok at Giorgio Says. My podcast, Giorgio Says, is available everywhere you stream your podcasts. And you can stream my music anywhere you stream your music.
Yes, you sure can. And y'all, if you are watching here on YouTube, please hit the like button, subscribe, join us for the lives where you can just sit and chit chat in the community chat here, which if I didn't have to go run and pick up my 3-year-old, I would be reading more of the comments at the moment. But please be sure and follow me at Besties by Caitlin, Caitlin, on Instagram and TikTok. Leave a 5-star review, pretty please, wherever it is you listen. And check out the Pop Culture Besties merch shop on Etsy. All right, my friends. I will see you on Thursday live, but again, keep an eye out for a new episode on Salt Lake City on audio.
One thing to everyone in Florida, please be safe. I
Yes.
know it's a scary time. Please. I know it's challenging, but we're thinking of you and hope everything passes over and no one is affected too bad.
Yes, please. We are thinking of you. And I hope you stay safe and you all have a wonderful Tuesday. All right, besties. I'll see you Thursday. Bye.